day, everybody. It is Calxiyn and Hunter here, and if you guys enjoyed this video, you should subscribe for more RWBY videos. Check out the Discord server if you guys want to talk with us more about RWBY, about other stuff as well. And you guys should check out the Patreon to see videos like this early, to see our reaction early. And today we're going to be talking about what Cinder, Neo, and I guess Watts are up
is the
to.
hanger-on.
Watts is like...
Watts is the third wheel.
Well, let's get Watts out of the way. He hacked the CCT, that's all he's doing. He's probably on his way back to Salem right now. Like, I can't really see him, you know, like, he's not gonna go through the crowd and start pushing people. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really his role in all this. It's more about what Cinder and Neo are gonna decide to do
that would
next.
be funny if Watts tries to be menacing and people just, like, punch him in the jaw.
Exactly,
and
right? So I feel like, if anything, he'll make his way back to the whale. Like, he'll ignore the whole, like, jump through the portal to vacuo thing for now. Like, he'll go back to the whale. There's probably a portal by the whale anyway, or at least around there that he could run to if things really get bad, right? But yeah, since he took down the CCT, like, I think that we kind of know what he's up to already. But what are Cinder and Neo gonna do? That's the big question, right? We see that Cinder is, like, not subtly at all, like, in this crowd of people.
It's sort of hilarious, like... She's the only person hunched in a hood.
Exactly. And I think that I think it seems like she's an Atlas, right? It seems like she's kind of in the subway-ish area. Like, there's brick on the floor. That reminds me kind of like the train station
I feel like
Mantle,
the people in Mantle are too streetwise. They'd be able to pick her out. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's the evil person.
Whereas the Atlas people, they aren't paying attention. So yeah, I think it's easy to assume that she's like in Atlas, and she will probably jump through the portal, right? And so here's the thing though, like, what exactly are Cinder and Neo going to do? Because the whole thing was, we'll, like, you know, go after Penny and Ruby and stuff, so you get your revenge on Ruby, I'll get my maiden powers, everyone's happy. And they listened in on, like, the Watts, like, you know, hacked intercom or whatever to, like, hey, come by the academy doors. And so we expected that that's where they would show up. But I think what happened is that they were probably on the way, not like they were taking the subway, but they were probably, you know, on the way there. And then the portal stuff happened, and then that distracted them from ending up at the academy anyway. You know what I mean? Like, Team RWBY, I guess, arrived faster at the academy and did all the staff stuff faster than Cinder, Neo, and Watts could actually get there, and so they changed the plan. So here's what I'm thinking. One, I feel like that Cinder is about to get greedy. I think that she's about to realize that with the portal's arrival, it is most likely that the staff is in play now, that they have unlocked the staff of creation, that Penny has been at the vault, right? And so I feel like that where we're getting at with this is that she will turn to Neo and be like, okay, listen, obviously, like, Penny has the maiden powers. Penny must be with Team RWBY, right? Because we heard Ironwood say that, like, you know, Penny's with her friends. It seems like they have the staff because some whack shit is going on. You know what I mean?
And I feel like they, unlike Jin, they would understand what the staff does.
Exactly. It's a staff of creation. Creating. Like, it's not exactly rocket science, even for Cinder, right?
And they probably witness Atlas rising, and they're like, I know what probably
or falling,
did that.
I guess, right? Like, even, like, either way. And so I'm sure that they probably understand what's going on. So I feel like Cinder would be like, well, this is perfect. Here's what we're gonna do, Neo, okay? We're gonna go after Ruby, we're gonna get my maiden powers, and we're gonna get the staff because Salem's gonna love me. And on top of it all, we're gonna pop over to Vacuo or whatever. Maybe they will want to stay in Atlas because that's where Salem's gonna respawn, right? They have to bring all this stuff back to her. Then we'll go back to Salem and then use the staff to kill all of the people that are inside of the, you know, the central waiting room or whatever, right? Like the lobby for the Fortnite game that they're all about to, you know what I mean? They're all about to spawn into Vacuo or whatever's going on. And so, yeah, and so that is what I'm imagining is that the plan is gonna be. And I feel like Neo's gonna be kind of like, huh? Like, really? You're adding more onto your plate? Like, this has never gone well for you, right? But then, Cinder's gonna be like, you know, I bet a staff of creation could do all sorts of things. Like, bring back your boss, right? And then Neo's like, okay, that actually kind of sounds good. Because, like, we know that we can't resurrect people with the staff of creation.
But
Cinder doesn't know.
And
even if Cinder does know, like, what's stopping her from lying, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what does Neo know,
well, you
right?
know, because Cinder's such a morally upstanding
Exactly.
person, she would never
and
lie.
So, like, if Cinder knows that it can't do that, she just lie, right? She just lied to Neo.
I mean,
right?
it's not the first time
her.
she did that. She more or less lied about what happened to Roman.
And so I feel like that's going to be the plan. And so now we have like multiple corresponding like aspects to this. Somebody brought up a very good point that Cinder most likely knows that Emerald is with Team RWBY because you can hear Emerald's voice in the live stream with Jean, Ren, and Nora. And I didn't realize that until I saw that comment. But you can, like, everyone can see you, dumbass, right? Like, Cinder's probably like, Emerald, like, are you kidnapped? Did you betray me? Like, she's probably gonna be pissed, right? And so there's that aspect as well. Like, there's the Emerald aspect of all this, but Emerald is with Jean, Ren, and Nora and all that stuff. So she's actually kind of separated from the target, which is Ruby and Penny, who are together, right? But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that there's two things. Like, Cinder could be stealth, right? Like, she could be stealthy and just move through the crowd and eventually, like, in this central point, find Ruby, Penny, and all of them and just start like fighting right there. But here's what I think is more likely. I think that she's gonna use her like Bendy and the Ink Machine arms to go like wah, wah, and she's just gonna start tossing people off, and Team
Rocky inflatable arm flailing green man.
Team RWBY will be forced to split into saving people from falling to the death because the guy said, like Ambrosia said, don't fucking fall. So they'll be like torn between saving, scooping up people that are falling in the hole because Cinder's like a genocidal maniac, and that'll leave like Penny and Ruby very susceptible, especially Penny, who has no weapon, who's in her frail little baby body, you know what I mean?
She doesn't even have shoes on.
She doesn't even have shoes.
She could stub her toe.
Exactly, and so I feel like that they are going to be a really easy target. Now, do I think that they'll kill Penny when they just gave her life? I don't know.
But now they kind of fix the thing. What I'm worried that they might kill Penny. I don't want them to, but I think they might because now if she dies, there's no coming back.
Like, we're
she's
done,
not a robot
right?
anymore.
And so she's like entirely defenseless at this point. Like she has maiden powers. Like not to say that she's like you know hopeless, right? But she has no more robot body, which she's used to. She doesn't have her sword, so she would have to rely entirely on the maiden powers and creating weapons out of the maiden powers. And you can see how that may be a little problematic for Penny when she's like been nerfed to this degree. She has no big laser anymore, right? It's just her and the maiden powers, which she hasn't really gotten used to yet compared to Cinder. And so I feel like that like Penny is in a very bad place. But then we have like the RWBY angle as well. And we are going to make another video about like Team RWBY falling into the hole. But I actually think that Cinder will get her first win. That is my prediction, is that Cinder has been losing and losing and losing. And now after the conversation that Watts like put into her little peanut brain, okay, she is going to have like a renewed sense of what to do and she will actually succeed. So what will happen is that they'll fight, they succeed in like splitting off like Team RWBY to help civilians that are falling down the hole. Especially, I could imagine, like, RWBY, especially with her semblance, or even, like, say, like, you know, like, Weiss and, like, Blake. Blake's, like, swinging on the edge, like Spider-Man, picking up people, like, Weiss is, like, using her bee to pick up people, or, like, even RWBY, like, swirling, and then whoever's left over is protecting Penny, and then, simultaneously, Neo's trying to stake his stab at RWBY, because that's all she cares about, and so I think that the end result of this is that Cinder will actually win. They'll take the staff, right? And then I imagine this final scene, the final scene of the volume, whoever's around, because I feel like Juniper will go to Vacuo possibly, whereas Team RWBY will fall in the hole, and we'll do a whole video about falling in the hole, and maybe they won't fall in the hole, maybe they'll get saved by Raven. Hunter has that theory, but for now, right, what I imagine is Cinder takes the staff, or the staff's like in Neo's hand, and like RWBY is falling, and instead of Cinder falling and looking at Raven, right, it's RWBY falling and Yang falling, and they're looking at Cinder, and Cinder's like, ha, like they did it, right? And like even Neo thinks that she's gotten her revenge. There's no way that RWBY's gonna survive in that hole. They got the staff. They think that they've killed like the people that are bothering Salem, like Salem's main opponents. They think that they've done all this stuff. And it's implied that Cinder and Neo, they either go back to Salem or they go through the portal to Vacuo to meet up with Tyrion and Mercury and whoever, right? Like they think, Salem will find us eventually. Like either way, because Atlas is falling. And so it's sort of one of those things where, well, will they leave to Vacuo or will they go back, right? We don't know. And so like ultimately, like that'll be the thing. Like Cinder thinks that she's won. She did win in a sense because she does have the staff, and like they'll leave, and like as Team RWBY's descending, like they see that the portals are all disappearing, right? And then that's, like, the thing, is that, like, Cinder has either, like, killed a bunch of people, right? Like, killed a bunch of people or condemned them to be trapped in this realm or something. And then we'll talk about what happens if they do fall, but that's how I imagine it. Vaguely, I imagine Cinder getting a win, but go ahead, Hunter.
Yeah, you know what scene I think this will remind me of?
Yeah.
Is in The Prince of Egypt. I know, when they're, like, escaping Egypt and, like, everyone's, like, happy, yeah, we made it, but then the Pharaoh's like, hey, by the way, I've decided, no, you're coming back, and it goes from very happy, like, yeah, we're going to the place where we're not slaves, to panic, and I imagine it'll be a similar scene. Everyone's really happy and relieved.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're, like,
we
celebrating.
have portals to vacuum, and people are trampling each other trying to get through the portals because Cinder's here with her noodle arms, like, pushing people up.
At first it goes, everything's okay.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then Cinder comes in and starts butchering people.
Yeah.
I also...
And then everyone's running and trampling each other, and there are kids left behind, and it's just madness.
I also suspect we might get something really twisted in regards to what... And I've had this theory since, I think, Volume 7, that I want Neo to turn into Pyrrha when she's fighting Team Juniper. I really hope she does that here. I think they're all fighting each other. I think it's the perfect opportunity. Similarly, we don't really know what's going to happen with Robin and Marrow and the rest of the Aesops.
Yeah, that's true.
Winter, like, are they going to show up as well? Are they going to be stuck in Atlas?
Are they going to go to Vacuum?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like, Winter at the very least, right, she put Ironwood in jail, and she said that she'd go back for them. But what if it's a thing where, like, Winter's like, oh man, I gotta stay here and wait, like, I can't go through the portal yet. And then because Cinder has closed the portal goes away. She's like, fuck, right? So we don't even know. The Aesops and then Crow and Robin are sort of like the wild card, because I imagine...
And Winter, don't forget Winter.
And Winter. Like, Robin probably wants to go back down to Mantle, but she herself, like, I feel like that she would go to Vacuo at this point, right? Because, like, even though the Happy Huntresses are like, yeah, like, save Mantle, we're for Mantle, like, this is the best thing. Like, Mantle, this is something that they talked about in the RWBY books a little bit, and I don't remember, I think it was in regards to Sun, but it's like, oh my god, I'm getting chills. It's like, Mantle is not the place. Like, Mantle is wherever the people are. Like, the people are Mantle, right? So I feel like that Robin may feel conflicted at first, like, they're leaving Mantle, but then either May or, like, Fiona reminds her, like, this hunk of junk, like, this hunk of rock, or whatever Winter calls it, like, that's not Mantle, like, we're Mantle, right? And then that convinces Robin and they go through, right? And so it's gonna be very interesting to see who goes to Vacuo exactly, because we have this whole thing of, like, Crow and Robin won't happen, like, she's not coming to Vacuo, and now it's like, seems everyone's coming to Vacuo.
I kind of want, I kind of want Fiona to have that line. I feel like we need more adorable Fiona Pine moments.
Because I feel like that's a very nice...
Another alternative thing for me is that, what I imagine happening is that Cinder, like, you know, because everyone's sort of there fighting against just Cinder and Neo. And so what I imagine is that they're about to, like, almost lose until they grab the staff, and then maybe Cinder uses it to gain an obscene amount of power.
Yeah, but the question is, what would Cinder ask for? Because the whole thing about Cinder is that she's stupid. And so that's the problem. But the thing is, though, like, if she asked for something, the portals would disappear. And so that's why, in my idea, like, she would have to leave first, and then she'd just make, I want a potato. And then she'd, like, that would close the portal. You know what I mean? Just something that she doesn't really want, but she's just asking for it in order to, like, destroy, like, the portals and the other thing, and Ambrose is just like...
I want a new outfit!
Exactly!
Bippity-boppity-boo!
Exactly!
And so I think that they're going to do that in order to just have everything collapse. And just like how Penny wasn't destroyed immediately, I imagine that this Rainbow Road dissolve slowly.
But Cinder and Neo need to go through to Vacuo though then, or come out the Atlas portal.
And I think that Team RWBY, I think that Cinder and them are going to go through to either Atlas or Vacuo, and then maybe the end credit scene will be like Neo and Cinder and oh goodness, Waluigi. For a moment I forgot his name. Watts, thank you. And it could be the end credit scene where we see Salem sort of return and reform.
Yeah.
But before that, I imagine they use a new wish with it. The Rainbow Road starts to collapse. Maybe Team RWBY saves as many civilians as they can, and everyone is almost about to die until we see a Raven portal open up. And then maybe that's where Crow and Robin and them, maybe Raven first got the Aesops, first opened a portal to Crow and got all the Aesops. So instead of falling through the hole, before they are
into
about to
nothingness.
fall into nothingness, in this situation, death.
Yeah.
They are saved by Raven, and then they show up back at Patch.
Exactly. So we will talk about that in a separate video, but I still feel like, obviously, that's probably important to mention for all of this, especially for, like, the Aesop's angle. But yeah, I think that Cinder and Neo's plan, I think that they're gonna get the W. Like, honestly, I could actually see Cinder taking Penny's powers and killing her, even though she just got back. Like, even though she just got a human form, I could see, like, Cinder gets the powers, and she gets the relic, and in that end credit scene you're talking about, Salem's like, well, like, you know what I mean? She's just like, wow, like, Cinder, you got everything. You got the powers, you got both relics, because obviously if Neo thinks that she's gotten her revenge, she would give the knowledge relic back, right? And so it's like, well, Cinder, you guys did a great job. Like, that's how I could see that last scene. And so,
We had other theories where maybe she learns that, I hope is that maybe we think Penny's gonna die, but then Cinder learns she can't hold two maiden powers, and Salem was messing with her the whole time.
That would kind of be interesting.
That
for
could
like
maybe be
a
interesting.
Cinder third faction thing. But
that could be interesting, and also that way my new favorite character doesn't have to die. So that would be nice for me. Rooster Teeth, you wouldn't hurt me, right? You wouldn't hurt me, right?
I think that that's basically it, though, in terms of like what Neo and Cinder are gonna do. I think that we have a great plan. Like, I think that our idea, I'm just gonna say it, I think our idea is the right one. I think that what we said, like, what else, like, you know what I mean? Like,
listen, that'll be the 10th time we've said that, and the 10th time we were wrong.
Oh god, but like, it's the only thing that makes sense, right? For them to do, like, you know, for Cinder and Neo to be like, I guess the ending big bad, because we're Salem's not here, you know what I mean? Ironwood's in jail, like, who's the big bad in these last 2 episodes? It's Cinder and Neo, bitch! And like, whoever else, like, maybe Emerald's a little hesitant too, about like, what side she should be on. I think
we could have a good Emerald moment where she's like saves the day or like turns on Cinder. I think that'll be a good moment.
I don't know who posted this. I think that Kaito Dan replied to it, and maybe it was Save the Bees Alley. But somebody posted something and they were like, I would really like this line where Emerald basically said, like, Cinder's like, without me you are nothing, right? Like, sort of parroting. And so like Emerald then goes like, but with them I have the chance to be anything. And like, that would make me cry, right? Because it's like with Juniper, she has the possibility, you know, to be anything that she wants, to be reformed, but with Cinder, she can only be bad, right? So yeah, that would make me cry. I think that we're pretty much done for now, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was a really fun one to talk about. I'm so looking forward to what Cinder and Neo are gonna get up to the next couple episodes. But yeah, that is all from us, guys, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!